Hello Foto-Buzzers, Andrew James here, and with this video I want to show you how to create a really simple basic blog with the new blog system. Your starting point is here in your own blog page, and you have, as always, the options of new post, live post and work in progress to look at, but we're going to create a new post. So I'm going to click on the new post button and we get this page, and it asks us to give a new blog title to what you're working on. Now this is important because this title will be your headline, and you'll see that in due course. So I'm going to type Namibian, I can't spell, adventure. There we go. Namibian adventure is good, and I'm going to create a new blog there now, and it opens. So we can see here that our title is Namibian Adventure, and we have an empty area here. There are no controls on the right hand side like there used to be. They are all here in the middle. We need to put something into that middle, and to do that we just need to click on this little slightly grayed out area. So we click to add content, and it opens up some options to us. So we're going to ignore all the other things. We're just going to start with a paragraph. I'm just going to click on paragraph, and that creates us a paragraph block. Okay. Now, I would suggest that wherever possible, you type your information or your words in as you create the blog itself. It's auto-saving, so if there is an issue or you lose power or something, it should save it from the pretty close time to when you got you ran into a problem. If you copy and paste from a Word document, for example, it's possible that you'll introduce some weird things to do with format, which could mess it up. So you can do that, but I don't advise it. Please, wherever possible, type your information in. Now, I think it's important to say when you're creating a blog that it should have words as well as images. It should be a combination of both. Don't just put an image up. If you want to put an image up and have people comment on that image, then put it up into the critique section. Here it should be about you telling a story. Now with this one I'm going to be telling a story about my Namibian adventure. Now I'm not going to type in here because it would take too long. What I want to do, imagine this opening paragraph, and I could type that for as long as I wanted. So if I actually do, let me just for the sake of this copy, because you can copy and paste the text within the actual that's already into the text box itself here without any problem. So that's not a problem. So I'm just going to copy and paste a couple of the bits in here, as you can see. So that's good. So imagine I've typed about that much for my intro. I now want to add an image. Now then, what size and how do I add an image? Well, first of all, let's create a content block with an image in it. So we have two different boxes here, toolboxes. Ignore the one at the bottom of this content box. You know it's a content box because it's surrounded by a green line. Ignore the one at the bottom and use the one on the right hand side. We will come back to the one at the bottom when I do a more complicated blog video that shows you all the different things you can do. For now we're doing a simple one. So I'm going to use this, and at the very we've got a few different tools here. I'm just going to use this cross here, which is an add. That will add a content block. So I'm going to click on that, and again we get these same options: paragraph, headline, image, etc, etc, etc. I'm going to ignore all of those and the ones that are hidden behind more. You can have a play with these yourself later, and I'm just going to select image. So I select image, and we have another block, another content block, because it has its own green border going around it. So if I drop between two, you see there's a green border there, then click on the image, there's a green border here. So it's in its own area, and we just have this lovely spider plant that comes in to show us that we need to put an image into there. Now, the first thing you need to know is image size. Well, image sizing, it's always better to resize your images to fit. Okay, it's going to be the best way of going forward. And if you want to know what size you should do, then all you need to do is at the very top here, we have this image help button. Click on that, open it up, and you have some advice. Very simple, and I'll read it. Images will always fill the width of the area, that's the one highlighted with the green box, you are loading them into unless you have sized them smaller yourself. So, in other words, if we were to drop a full resolution image into this box that was portrait, then the width of that portrait would be from the left to the right, and the depth of it would go on and on and on. And I might show you how that works in a little bit. So landscape, as a result of this, what we're suggesting do is that landscape images should be resized to 1400 pics maximum. It'll help with upload anyway, make the upload much quicker if you do that. They can be smaller. If you make them smaller, they will be smaller within this frame size. So they can be as small as you want, but they will be smaller within this box area. And as I said, portraits, so that's the vertical images, should be sized at 500 pixels across their width. That would be this area here, across the width, not the depth, the width. That means that they will not have so much vertical depth to them and be easier for people to see them on a screen. On some of the smaller screens, like a really small laptop or an iPad, you might still have to scroll down a little bit, but on a normal desktop you should be able to see that whole image. So remember, if you need help with these things, then that help is there to tell you what size to do it. So let's just click back on our block here. Going to click on this little icon here in the top right hand corner. We've actually got 3 icons, but again, we're only going to worry about one thing at a time on this blog, and that is the change image. So I'm going to click on change image, and I've already collected a bunch of images into a folder. So I've already resized my images, and that's what I suggest you do. Resize your images accordingly before you even get to this point, okay? And have them waiting for you in a folder. Now, obviously mine's found it straight away, but if you need to find it, then do it the normal way. Search through your computer system to find the folder with all the images in it. So I'm just going to drop here. I've got a June landscape image that I've already saved at 1400 pixels on at the maximum width, and I'm going to click on that and then click open, and there you go, in it goes. Perfect. So I now have my paragraph, opening paragraph, and I have my opening image in nice June's detail. So now I want to write something about that image, or I want to continue my story. So again, I'm just going to use this right hand tool bar here. I'm going to click again on the cross, and I'm going to drop a paragraph in, and then I would write more information there. Now, something to bear in mind when it comes to text, you can style your text. You have this little menu up here. So for example, if I want to go over here, let's say I'm going to go onto the lower ears, I'm going to click bold. So I've bolded that little bit up. I might want to, I don't know, put this into italics. I can do all sorts of things here, and again, you can experiment with what's possible there. You can change font sizes, you can change color, bits and pieces. I would suggest always to keep it as simple as possible, but the options are there if you want them. Okay, so imagine I've done a caption for this particular image now, and I want to add another image in. What do I do? Yep, you've guessed it, I go back to the right hand toolbar, not the bottom toolbar that's here, but the right hand toolbar that is here, and I'm just going to click on the plus symbol, and I'm going to click on image again, and we just get another image up. Now then, for this situation, let's put in a vertical, a portrait style format image. So I'm going to click on the image so I get my top icons here showing. I'm going to click on that image icon. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to show you the point I made earlier. I've saved a vertical image at full resolution here. So June at full res, I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to open it up and see what happens. It's going to take a second. I've got very good broadband here, so it doesn't take too long. If your broadband isn't good, it would take a lot longer, but it's dropped in quite nicely. Now, I would have to scroll this up quite a long way for you to see that whole image, right? It doesn't look great. So I think the best thing to do there is we're going to put a different image in. So I'm going to click on that, and I've actually saved, here's the same image, and I've saved it at the 500 pixels that we're recommending. And I'm going to click open on that, and there you go. It's going to open on there. Now it does open at the moment on the left hand side. We're going to try and fix that to see if we get it centered for you. But if it opens on the left hand side, I think it's best to center it. So just put your cursor right next to it so you can just see it flashing on that left hand side, and then you use this little the menu at the top, go to center, that one here shows it's centered, and just click on that and it nicely centers for you. Now that's a much more acceptable size, isn't it? So now we've got our opening paragraph, we've got our opening image with some text about it, we've got our landscape image, and we want some text below that. I bet you know what happens now. Yep, right hand toolbar, click plus, click paragraph, and the text drops in, and you can type and you can continue going. Now, I haven't saved anything because autosave is working, so I don't have to worry about saving anything else. Now then, how do I see what this looks like to the viewing public? Okay, that's pretty simple. Just go to the top and we click on preview, and there it comes up here. So it's going to give your headline. Remember at the start I said it's important that you give a good headline for your blog, and Namibian Adventure is sitting up there nicely at the top. It's got by Andrew James there, and it'll have your name there, and it will have the date that you did it, and then we have the text, and we can scroll down and we can read the blog however we want to do it. Now that has opened in a different tab on the internet. I'm using Chrome because I'm on a Mac, and we would recommend Chrome. In fact, we recommend Chrome for reviewing Foto-Buzz in general, because Safari has a few issues here and there because it is Safari. And you can keep that tab open as you go. So, for example, we're going to add another picture. Remember, I'm going to click on the last block. I'm going to use the right-hand toolbar, and I'm going to click because I want to put another image in. So we've opened up an image there. I'm going to click on that image in the top right-hand corner. I've got the change image symbol. I'm going to open that up, and we're going to get some more stuff. Let's take the elephant picture here. So I'm going to open, and the elephant picture is going to drop beautifully into place. Natosha elephant there from Namibia. And then again, we can add a paragraph beneath it in a different block by clicking on paragraph in the same way. I know you've got the picture of this now, and that's fine. So we've got our tab here, remember, that's already open from our preview. So all I need to do is refresh that tab by clicking on the refresh symbol. And if I scroll down, there it is. Our elephant has been added, and we can go on. So that's a really simple way of doing that. Obviously, if you do wish to delete that and you come back to your blog that you're working on, then you just clearly hit preview button and it will all appear there anyway. So it's not the end of the world if that happens. Basically, that's all I want to show you in this video. So my advice is keep it simple. Text followed by a nice image works perfectly. Keep it in different content blocks to start with, and we'll progress to some more complicated and more interesting and more fun blogs with our next video. So when you are happy and you've decided that you've written in exactly what you want to write, and you have used the exact images that you want to use, you can obviously publish it. If you think, oh, I need to think about this a little bit longer, I might change some images, I might change some text, then you can use the save button here. But if you're ready to go, just hit publish and hope for the best.